everyone. Welcome back to Good Morning Games. And today we are going to be talking about the big news that has overtaken the gaming industry of Microsoft purchasing Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. I mean, if they're willing to spend that much, like nothing, like what's crazy is that when they bought Bethesda, I mean, it was around $7 billion or something, and people were like $7 billion for Bethesda, like, whoa. And like, that's nothing compared to this. So, I mean, that just makes me think, anything is fair game because nothing's going to cost close to, I don't think anything that they would want to purchase is going to be close to $7 billion. I don't think,
yeah,
like they can buy so much stuff.
Yeah, I when I heard the 7 billion news, I was like, oh my god, like that's going to be the biggest gaming deal ever. And then this is like 10 times that. It's just like when I woke up and read the news, I was like, holy shit. Like I just sat there for a second, was like, oh my god, like, and just processed like, okay, Microsoft owns Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and blah blah blah, and like just going down the list, and I was like, oh my god, like Microsoft owns everything now. Like it's a really
it's pretty wild,
really nuts deal that they are working on right now. So just
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, where do you even want to start with this? Because there's so many different avenues to go down.
Yeah, the first thing is Bobby Kotick is going to remain as CEO of Activision Blizzard and will report to Phil Spencer. He's the guy that everybody wants out of Activision because of the toxic culture within Activision Blizzard. But all the reports are saying that as soon as the deal goes through, he's going to leave like maybe a month or 2 or 6 months later. Like he's not going to stay on board, but just for now, this is what's happening. And
that's probably part of the deal. Like they probably are saying, like they're gonna pay him off when it's done.
Yeah,
here's $500 million. Never come back.
Yeah, he gets his golden parachute and gets out without having to really accept responsibility for anything, and just like, all right, I'll take my suitcase full of cash, and I'll see you guys later. You guys have fun cleaning up my mess, and that kind of sucks, but whatever. At least he'll be gone, and hopefully the work environment can improve at Activision Blizzard. But from what I've heard on other podcasts and what I read, it seems like Activision probably approached Microsoft about this whole deal. And I'm sure this is just a product of all the lawsuits and things that are happening at that company. They were probably, looking for a way to like clean up the company without having to do anything themselves, it seemed like. So they're like, hey, Microsoft, do you want to buy a big giant mess that also is a cash cow? And do you have $68 billion? Do you want to do that? And then it looks like that's just how this thing came together. If you look at Activision Blizzard before all of this, it doesn't seem like they were in great shape because they were just It was just a Call of Duty once a year. They would make a shitload of money from Call of Duty. They obviously get money from Warzone transactions too. But other Activision games, like there was the Tony Hawk remake a couple years ago, and I couldn't even tell you another Activision game that came out.
Yeah, Toys for Bob, they made the new Crash Bandicoot game.
Yeah.
So
that was like 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
No. They just came out with a new one like last year, I think.
Oh, was it that recent? Time is fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was right after the Series X came out.
Oh.
It was like that March. So this past March, maybe.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, Toys for Bob. I'm sure they're gonna have that. But they're also now owning. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're gonna be owning like Candy Crush.
Yeah, like they're gonna own Candy Crush. Their developer King, they're gonna own Candy Crush, and I guarantee you there's gonna be a console version of Candy Crush. I don't know if there is. There could very well be one on Switch or something, but they're gonna they're gonna do a free Candy Crush for Xbox that's gonna have microtransactions. I think that is
for sure
definitely gonna be happening. And for probably PC, like instead of Space Cadet Pinball like we used to get, it's gonna be Candy Crush on your PC when you open it.
Yeah.
Um,
I just wanted to. I was looking for this fact while you were talking because I had seen it like online. So this is the third biggest acquisition in all of entertainment ever.
wow.
The highest, the number, and they're all. It's pretty close to the next ones. The biggest one ever was AT&T buying Time Warner for 85 billion, and then second is Disney buying Fox for 71.3. And this is right below that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's massive. Like it's like I said, like it's literally like, oh, okay, everything's different now. It's like now all of this stuff belongs to this other company, and that's how it is now. It's a big shift. So yeah, like just going back to what I was saying earlier though, like what Activision was doing was it was making money, but it just seemed like the studio could be doing better, at least in a lot of people's opinion. And Blizzard also, their games have just been getting smacked with delays left and right. I feel like Diablo 4 should be out by now, and it's still like 2 years away. Like that game has been, I think it was announced like 3 years ago maybe, and still just nothing. Overwatch 2 has been delayed constantly. I'm sure like we'll probably get an Xbox version of like World of Warcraft or whatever, probably a StarCraft game. Like, so I think these two companies coming under Microsoft is going to be really good. I think it's gonna I think they're gonna up their output of games pretty significantly, is what I think.
Yeah, and I think that not only with mentioning like delays and stuff like that, but because their reputation had gone so far, downhill, that just affects everything. I mean, I'm sure that there are some companies that didn't necessarily want to work with them. It was starting to become like a weird thing whether or not they get promoted. Like I remember at the Game Awards, there was this thing of like, are they going to talk about Activision? Are they going to promote games from Activision? Like just that in general. And I think that Microsoft's at least idea here is that they're going to be able to turn that reputation around by owning it, getting Bobby Kotick out, and then going in and kind of fixing, at least attempting to fix how the work environment is there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, they got to get that guy out, and then they'll be like, okay, now what do we do? What do we tinker around with? I do think, I heard this on another podcast, but I do think Xbox wants to keep Bethesda, like have it keep its name. They're not going to rebrand these studios as Microsoft Game Studios and just have one giant thing. I think they're going to have Bethesda and Activision and Blizzard they're going to keep all of those labels, and then Microsoft will just kind of be the umbrella over all of them. Kind of like Disney and Marvel and Lucas and Fox or whatever. So that's kind of neat.
And I mean that kind of makes sense when these are companies that have built up a reputation. I mean that's the same as there's other studios that like Sony owns, PlayStation owns, and like Nintendo owns. Who did Nintendo just buy this past year?
Next Level?
Yeah, like Next Level. They're gonna keep the name Next Level because then when you like announce a game and you say it's being developed by Next Level, what they've done, things like that. So when there's already an established kind of name to the company, which Activision is a very established name.
Right.
You're not gonna, no point in taking that away. I feel like.
Yeah, they're not just gonna fold it all into Microsoft Game Studios. But yeah, so some big questions that came out of this. I think a lot of people at first were like, is Call of Duty going to be an Xbox exclusive game from here on out? And definitely not this year. I definitely think not next year either. So here's kind of what happened. They bought it. Everyone was like, what's happening with Call of Duty? Is this thing going to just be on Game Pass now? Sony came out and said that they have a 5+ year deal in place with Activision for Call of Duty. And they said that Microsoft has to honor that deal. They can't change it at all. Phil Spencer came out and said he had good calls with the leaders at Sony this week. They have a desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, and he said, I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. To me, that sounds like we're going to honor that deal, and then it's like the second it's done, this thing's going on Game Pass and it's going to be Xbox exclusive because we just spent $70 billion on this. So why would we not make it exclusive to our platform? Yeah, so I do think this is going to be, I think Call of Duty is going to stay multi-platform for probably 4 or 5 years. And then, I mean, who knows? They could change the deal. This is what he kind of has to say for right now, just so there's no fires popping up during this massive acquisition. But I think the end goal is to have Call of Duty be an Xbox exclusive and something that's available day one on Game Pass, because that's Microsoft's whole deal, is building Game Pass and acquiring subscribers. So I don't think there's anything to worry for Call of Duty players on PlayStation in the short term, but long term, that thing is going to be Microsoft exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I mean, I think that their goal here is to make Game Pass such a deal that Sony and Nintendo want to add Game Pass to their, they feel like they have to, otherwise they're missing out on these, huge things. So, I'm with you. And this has kind of been talked about, I'm sure, a lot, but the main thing that, the finance people at Microsoft have to go over is, obviously if it was an exclusive, even in a year and a half, they make this exclusive, they're going to be losing money in the short term because that's such a big amount of money that would come in from Sony and coming from, wherever Call of Duty is. But they have to, have done the numbers and figured out that, in the long term, this is going to get more people to come to Game Pass because this many people play Call of Duty and it's their favorite game and they only play it on, PlayStation. So, I just don't. It's a little different with something like Call of Duty because Call of Duty is so huge and it makes so much money that I could see why they may want to keep it multi-platform. But in general, if you're buying a company, it's to make it exclusive. I don't know why you wouldn't. Call of Duty is really the only one of these where I'm just like, I guess, but I still just because they make so much money, but. Yeah, like I said, I think the goal is to get other companies to want to add Game Pass, and so that makes the most sense. That would help that the most.
Yeah, and the only thing, I mean, we could point to the Bethesda deal with Microsoft where everyone was like, oh man, is Starfield going to be an Xbox exclusive? And then we found out pretty quickly that, yes, Starfield is going to be exclusive to Xbox, and obviously it's a little different because that's a new game and not something established and as huge as Call of Duty. But yeah, I think you're right. Eventually, Microsoft wants Game Pass to be on Switch and be on PlayStation, and they're just going to buy shit up until it's impossible for the other companies to say, no, we don't want that. Yeah. It's going to be like, well, there's so much on here. There's this many subscribers. We have to put this thing on our consoles because everybody uses it, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, that's kind of like the wait and see type of thing because we're not going to have a short-term answer for all of that. But I think in the long run, that's what we'll see is that all of this stuff, Diablo 4, that's going to be on Game Pass. I think every game and every property that they just got, like, it's going to have stuff on Game Pass eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could definitely be making a Smash Brothers type game with all their characters right now. Yeah. And that would be sick.
Yeah. And I think another big point is, getting Toys for Bob and getting Crash Bandicoot and getting Spyro, that really helps. I mean, they've been, they got Banjo and they're not doing shit with it. But no, but still, I mean, like, that's the kind of the games they've been lacking are those like kind of family adventure type games. And now you got 3 huge, well-known characters.
Microsoft owns Crash Bandicoot, which is just crazy because that was PlayStation's big mascot for a long time. Yeah. And now they're like, oh, that's going to be ours now. And
I will say, Toys for Bob, they did the Spyro trilogy remakes, and that was great. And they made this new recent Crash game, and I think I've said like it was just as good as the original ones. So like you got to put Toys for Bob on Banjo. Like
absolutely they do. Yeah, I mean, and they just said like not too long ago that Toys for Bob was going to be a Call of Duty support studio, and everybody was like, "What? Are you kidding me? Like that's the worst use of Toys for Bob. Like Activision must be stopped. They're just making everybody work on Call of Duty all the time."
Yeah.
And so now hopefully Microsoft kind of backtracks on that and tells Toys for Bob like, "Here's Banjo, just remake 1 and 2 or remaster whatever, or make a third Banjo that's not Banjo Nuts and Bolts and just do that, because that would be, I mean, they've proven that there's not a lot of development studios that can make 3D platformers good, so, and they've proven that they can do it. So if you're gonna make a Banjo game, that's your studio to do it, and that's always been the question with Banjo is who's gonna make it, and now they have the right studio. So I hope we see it. Probably by the time we're 40, it might come out.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So like speaking of that, Microsoft now owns Call of Duty, Overwatch, Crash Bandicoot, Warcraft, Guitar Hero, Hearthstone, Candy Crush, Diablo, Spyro, StarCraft, Skylanders, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Geometry Wars. Like those are all the big ones. Then they own, there's obviously older stuff like older Activision titles like Pitfall, like things like that. Like Pitfall, obviously. Like they could turn that into some Indiana Jones type game if they wanted to. There is a ton of IP that they now own. But yeah, it's just like there's so many and like with 34 development studios to work on games, like I imagine they'll still I can't imagine them being like, okay, Raven, who is a Call of Duty developer, you're now doing something else. Like I feel like they're going to keep that train going because that's going to be paying off a lot of this deal for them, like owning Call of Duty and getting money from that. But I mean, they're going to shift around some of the other stuff, and like they could make one of these Activision studios make Fallout 5 for them, so that we're not waiting 15 years to get that. There's just a lot of cool possibilities that opens up with both of these deals with Bethesda and Activision. So
yeah, it's pretty wild.
It is wild. A lot of people have been saying like Sony could maybe take a look at, because they have to do something because they're gonna get left in the dust if they don't if they don't do anything. A lot of people are like they could buy Square Enix, and Square Enix makes Final Fantasy. Sony would want Final Fantasy to be a PlayStation exclusive, obviously. There could be something there. I guess, you know, we'll wait and see. I think Square Enix would be the obvious choice if Sony were to buy someone, but, you know, we won't know until we know, obviously.
Yeah, and on the topic of Sony, one big thing was when this happened, now this is just what I heard, let me double check. Yeah, so when it happened, their stock dropped about $20.
Yeah, not good.
The second that that acquisition happened, which is pretty crazy. I mean, that's a pretty huge drop. And then I heard that other random studios like Square Enix and I can't think of a few others, Ubisoft, their stock went up because people were investors were assuming, okay, maybe one of these is going to get bought by Sony or Microsoft.
Yeah.
So all the other companies' stocks went up. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, that's great. They're like, ooh, we could be next.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if Sony bought Ubisoft or something like that, that would be just absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say another fun fact that I saw was that the numbers could be a little bit off, but pretty much the amount that Microsoft paid for Activision is around the same amount that Nintendo is supposed to be valued at. So
Oh my god.
so so it's actually I remember hearing, and it's actually a little less. Like I think Nintendo's valued at something like 66 or something $billion. So it's like they literally just it's just wild that's how big of a deal this is.
That's so much money.
Yeah.
So I think obviously Sony's stock taking a hit is definitely why they came out and they were like, "Oh, Wayne, like you have to honor the deal. Like you got to put Call of Duty on PlayStation." Like they didn't want people to panic and like start selling their PlayStations. But yeah, I think that's kind of funny how they immediately just came out and they're like, "No, you have to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation."
Yeah.
Otherwise, that might have gone down further. I don't think Nintendo gives a shit about any of this.
No.
Honestly, they're just like, "Huh, all right, well, we're gonna keep going with like they did acquire that studio. I think that was a timing thing where that studio was like, hey, we'll do it, and they've proven that they could make games. They did Luigi's Mansion 3, which was obviously really good and sold a lot. So they're like, let's not miss out on this opportunity. But I don't know if they're actively looking to make big purchases for studios.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think they really need to. I mean, the thing is with a lot of these, I'm sure that it affects them in a sense. It's not just completely just a shoulder shrug, but when the studio gets acquired, but like these games like a Call of Duty or anything like that, they're never going to sell the most on the Switch anyways. The things that sell the most on Switch are the first party games, and that's what they're really known for. So I just don't think it's not a huge effect to them.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they just took a look at it and they're like, huh, all right, well, maybe if we get another Tony Hawk game, it'll be coming from Microsoft, like on their Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nintendo's strategy is more based on expanding through like the theme park thing they're doing with Universal, the Mario movie that's coming out. They're really just getting started with all of that type of use of their IP that's going to grow their company so much. Like they have the IP. Microsoft didn't really have, they did have a lot, but obviously they were looking for more. But Nintendo, I think, is pretty happy with their stable of IP, and they're like, let's just grow what we have as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
So, actually, kind of on that topic, a crazy rumor came out today from Jeff Grubb on Grub Snacks. He said there is a rumor going around about a Mario Muso game coming out for the Switch. And for those that don't know, a Muso game is like Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity.
The hack and slashers.
The hack and slashers with those massive armies facing off against each other where you just kill like literally thousands of enemies per battle.
Yeah. So
Jason, what do you think a Mario Muso game looks like?
I don't know, but I'll play it.
Yeah. It's going to be called something stupid like Mushroom Kingdom Warriors or something like that. I could just picture like Mario like running through just thousands of Goombas, and that's the game. It could be fun. I've never really liked a Muso game except for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and that's just because I liked the Breath of the Wild art style and characters and all of that. So it's pretty funny, though. I can't wait to see it. If it's real, I can't wait to see it. I just want to see thousands of Koopas or Goombas, whatever, all on the same map. That'd be pretty fun. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Banjo Kazooie is on the Switch online service as of today. Actually, it's not out yet as of the time of this recording, but by the time you hear it, it should be out. That's awesome. Can't wait to get to play Banjo on my Switch. Nice. I just fired up Paper Mario because I still never played it on the Switch, but I'm gonna give that a go. Probably play that and Banjo at the same time until something like Elden Ring comes out. Actually, you know what's nuts is Pokemon Legends Arceus comes out in a week.
I don't know. This is like more than a lot of games. I don't know what to think yet. I'm gonna need to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. Like some trailers, the graphics look like crap, and then some, I'm like, oh, that's fine. I mean, it's Pokemon. Like they're never like huge graphical showcases. Like it's just Pokemon, so whatever.
Yeah. And I know I've said this before, probably on the last podcast, but like the actual graphics don't worry me. It's just that like everything seems it's just like because the the graphics are kind of half-assed, and from like the footage I've seen, I just have this feeling that it's gonna feel a little half-assed, and it's gonna feel. I'm worried it's gonna feel empty because I've watched the trailers multiple times. I watched that whole 13-minute like gameplay thing, and like I don't know, the world just seems kind of empty. Whereas like with Breath of the Wild, yes, in a sense, it was like a very open, very like, oh, it didn't seem from the outside looking in at trailers, it didn't look like maybe there was a ton going on, but man, there was so much to do.
Yeah.
Everywhere you looked, there was like a cave to explore, or a shrine, or like a new enemy popped up somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm just worried that this is going to be that much of an open world, but not as much going on. Just like Pokemon here and there that you throw your ball at.
Yeah. And like probably not a lot of variety in what you can find.
Yeah.
Either. But who?
So,
I mean, I don't know.
I'm still excited for it. I'm gonna get it. Unless, like I said, unless we see the reviews and they're like bombed. But I still probably will get it.
Yeah. Nintendo put out a graphic. They tweeted it out a couple days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. But it said, it was like, where did your Pokemon journey begin? And it just showed all the box art and what year it released for every mainline Pokemon game. And they did include Legends Arceus at the very end with like Red and Blue and Black and White and Y and X.
Interesting.
So they do count this as a mainline Pokemon game, which if anybody had any doubts, like it seems like Nintendo is considering this the next mainline Pokemon after Sword and Shield.
Nice.
Which is kind of crazy. Maybe the first mainline Pokemon that's only a one, like there's not like a Legends Arceus and Legends blank, like it's just one title.
Yeah. So we'll have to play this, and then maybe our next pod we'll have to give our first impressions of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna get it.
I'm gonna get it. The only way I won't get it is if it's like a 30 or like a 40 out of 100 on like Metacritic or something.
Yeah.
Then I'll just then I probably won't, but that's about it. If it's anything over like if it's a 60 or higher, I'll get it.
If IGN gives it a 7, that means in reality it's probably a 5. And then I might be like, I don't know. I feel like they always like beef up whatever ratings they give, like at least a couple points. I don't know. It seems like they're afraid to be harsh on people, but I mean, I'll wait. I don't know when the review embargo goes up for Legends Arceus, but it's got to be at least, I think, 2 days before it comes out. So maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday we'll start here. Okay, then we also got Kirby and the Forgotten Land has a March 25th release date for the Switch. I'm in the exact same boat with this as I am with Legends Arceus, in that I don't know, the first trailer I thought looked cool and like mysterious and interesting. The trailer they just put out last week or whatever that was, I thought looked like hot garbage. And I'm like, I don't know. So I could go either way. It could be fun. I do like that it has co-op, so that is more enticing to get. But from what I saw, I thought it was just Mario 3D World with different, but Kirby. So like it's a 3D game, but there's levels. So like you just go, you like beat a level and then you go to the next one. That's what I thought, but I don't know.
There are definitely more open areas that people have pointed out in different YouTube videos. There are definitely some areas where it's not just go this direction.
Okay. So Nintendo's got Arceus coming out in a week. We have Kirby Forgotten Land end of March. And then we have allegedly Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp in early April. There is a little bit of a gap in February and early March. There were some rumors. I think it was Nate the Hate podcast. I think it was them who said there's a rumor of a sequel to a casual game from Nintendo coming out this spring. I can't
So-
even think of what that would be other than 1-2 Switch 2. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what this would be.
It started out, remember, it started with Emily Rogers said something about a casual IP. She said, tweeted something like, I'm interested to see what people are going to think of this casual IP that probably won't entice a lot of new buyers. And then Nate said something on his podcast about that as well. So that kind of confirms it. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I thought. It's like, it's 1-2 Switch 2, or I don't know. I don't know what else.
Nintendogs too.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know, but it sounds like it's nothing to get too hyped about.
Yeah, just something that they're gonna put out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is nothing in that February or early or middle March, really.
Well, early March is Triangle Strategy, which I'm hyped for.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then. Okay,
Yeah,
I completely forgot about that.
That's March 4th.
Okay, cool. Wow, so we're gonna get that game and Advance Wars and within like a month of each other. That's
yeah, I know. And then on that same Nate podcast, they talked about how there's going to be a new Fire Emblem in the summer. Or he's expecting it. So it's like, man, there's a lot of tactics games.
Yeah, big strategy year for Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in very special news, I heard this today. Microids, a developer who makes Switch games like Gear Club Unlimited and some other stuff I can't remember right now. Siberia, I think, that series. They have inked a deal with Viacom CBS to develop 3 new video games based on Garfield the Cat. So that's pretty huge news. We're going to get 3 Garfield games. I think Garfield just popped up in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, if I'm not mistaken. So really big year for Garfield the Cat. So something to look forward to there.
And it sounds like a movie is being made with Chris Pratt again.
With Chris Pratt, yeah.
No joke that he is also going to be voicing Mario and Garfield.
Yeah. This is the world we live in now.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt does every animated character.
It's Chris Pratt's world. We're just living in it.
Oh my god. All right, anything else? What are you playing, anything fun?
I just beat Golf Story today.
Right.
I had right when it came out, I had bought it and now that I beat it, I realized where I ended. I probably stopped playing like an hour and a half before the end of the game.
Wow.
but like I remember I kind of dropped it. Something must have came out. I dropped it. This was years ago. And anytime I went back to play it, I was like, I don't know where I am or what I'm supposed to do. And so then I was just like, whatever. Sometime I'll play it again. And so I picked it back up about a week ago, and I did in fact play it again, and I just finished it today. So I just beat Golf Story.
Nice.
I did the same thing right before this with Spiritfarer. That was another game that I had played a lot of, but whenever I got back to it, I didn't know where I was. So I started that over towards the beginning of January. Crushed that one too. It's a great game.
Awesome. Yeah, I've started Spiritfarer, but didn't get very far into it. But I did like what I played.
Yeah, it's a weird game. It's like,
yeah,
I played it and I played it how I would play like a Zelda game where it's like any chance I got, I went back and played it. And that's definitely not the way to play that game. It's like meant to be, you play it for, an hour here and then you play it again for an hour a week later. And like, it's not like and that's how this past time I played it, I was just like hacking it all day. And by the end, I was kind of like, all right, we got to get to the end of this game. I'm kind of over it, but it's a good game.
Nice. So I've been playing Halo Infinite multiplayer still, pretty much with all of my free time. That just is what I play. I also have been playing Hitman 3. Finally got that, and really like it. Kind of bummed that I didn't play the Hitman series really at all before this, but now I have 3. And actually, I think that is hitting Game Pass today or tomorrow. So if you haven't played any of the Hitman games, they're all going to be on Game Pass by the time you can hear this. And I highly recommend Hitman 3. It is a lot of fun. And I've been playing Or I just started, like I said earlier, Paper Mario on the Switch, so I'm gonna get that going,
Nice.
and hopefully Banjo Kazooie as well if that ever comes out. So yeah, Halo, Hitman, Paper Mario, Banjo. good rounded out lineup.
Nice. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. Anything else?
Not that I can think of. Yeah, I'm gonna probably pop in Banjo as soon as it's out.
Yep. All right. If you guys want to follow us on Twitter at GM Games Podcast or email us at goodmorninggamespodcast@gmail.com, send us a question or a message, whatever you want to say, anything at all. Feel free to reach out. But thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you, and we will see you later.
We'll see ya.